All right, in order to post my videos on YouTube, I got to keep them under 15 minutes, so I had to cut that last one off and keep going here. So, um, quizzes, discussions, and now we have a midterm and a final exam. The math department requires that I have 50% of my course grade based on proctored things. So the way I do that is I give you a midterm in the middle of the quarter and a final exam at the end, where I ask you to come to campus and at a particular time and day and take a test. So the midterm is scheduled for Thursday, February 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. and I'll figure out the room once classes get going and I can actually talk to the people who schedule rooms. And likewise, the final exam will be on March 22nd. That's also a Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. in probably the same room that that one is, but I don't know what room it is yet. I'll let you know as soon as I do. Each of these two exams is a 2-hour exam. You may use a page of notes. You should also bring a photo ID so that I can check that you are who you say you are. And the page of notes is 8.5 inches by 11 inches or smaller, both sides. If your schedule doesn't allow you to come at the time for either one of these, then please let me know and we will make alternative arrangements. I understand with an online class, people have all kinds of different schedules, but let me know ahead of time and we can work to find an alternative. Okay. Yeah, let me go down to the calendar here and take a look at all of this. So February 15th is the midterm test 1 and March 22nd is the final. Okay. This schedule is, if I were teaching a face-to-face class, it's essentially pacing as to what we'd be doing each day. Quizzes would be on Fridays and whatnot. In your class, of course, quizzes aren't on that Friday, so quiz 2 here is not until Sunday. Actually, let me also point out that the course is designed as an 11-week course. We're a quarter system. We have 11 5-day weeks, so that's 55 days for the quarter. But because we're getting started late, we're starting on a Wednesday and there's some holidays in there. Anyway, this quarter actually holds over into 12 weeks. So it's like, well, what's what? So on the calendar, in the margins here, it tells you what week I think we're in. So week 1, starting here on January 3rd, ends on January 9th. Okay, so the end of week 1 is January 1. So quiz 1 is actually the only quiz which is not due on a Sunday. It's due on Tuesday the 9th at midnight, quiz 1. Okay, so you'll find that in the week 1 block on the course page. Then we get into week 2 here, and week 2 goes all the way up to January, actually not 19th, but 20th, 21st. So quiz 2 is due January 21st. Okay. After that, it just keeps going. Week 3, week 4, week 5. Right. Quizzes are always due on the Sunday after they're listed here. Yes. So just because of the weird way we get started and the holiday in here, week 1 and week 2 are kind of funky, but otherwise it works pretty well. Anything else I need to say about the calendar? I wonder how much of the background noise you can hear. Got some loud people talking in the room next to me. Okay, so back up here. That's the final, yes. So each of those is worth 30% of your grade. So it's actually 60% of your grade is proctored. Grades are your basic A, B, C, D, 90, 80, 70, 60 thing. Disability accommodations, yes, if you have any disabilities that need some accommodations, go to the Disability Services Support Office in LDC and get the paperwork signed out, and they send information to me and we will do what is needed. The online setting here is pretty wide open, so we should be able to get you what you need, and if we need to use testing center, we can do that or whatnot. But just let me know, and we'll do what we need to do. Okay. Now, let's see. Participation and conduct. Math is not a spectator sport. If you want to do well, you got to participate. Read the book. Do the homework. Ask your questions in discussion. Help other people in the discussions. Participate. That's the way you're going to do better, right? Academic honesty. Don't cheat. Why are you here? You're not here to do someone else's work. You're not here to have someone else do your work for them or for you, whatever. Just do your own work. There's, consequences if you don't. It's spelled out in your student handbooks. Yeah, just do your own work and we'll all be good. There are some support things available that I need to make you aware of. There's this thing called the early alert system. 2 weeks maybe into the quarter, 3 weeks into the quarter, the college says, hey, do you got it? They say to the instructors, hey, you got students that are maybe not coming to class or not doing as much work as you think they should be. And then I can say, yeah, I got this person here that seems to not be living up to what their expectations are, and then the college through the student support services office will contact the student, contact you and say, hey, what's going on? We don't want you to fall by the wayside. We want you to succeed. Come on, we'll get you a tutor. What can we do? There's all kinds of support that students don't necessarily know we have. And so the early alert system is my way of saying to the college, hey, I got some people who need some more help, and then the college being able to reach out and say, hey, your instructor said you might need more help. Can we help? So anyway, just want to let you know that that's a possibility, that I might do something like that if I think people are not really participating up to what they should be. Tutoring. Anyway, there is the tutoring center and the math center. There's a math center and the writing center, both in the learning center over in Cascade Hall. It's a great place to go and do your homework, hang out with others, challenge the tutors to do some of these problems. I very often say that I teach not only to my students, but I teach so that the tutors will learn more. If you find a tutor that can't really do this stuff that you're asking about, send them to me and I will help them learn too. Anyway, statement of affirmation of inclusion. Yeah, I don't care what your background is, what your religion is, what your race is, what your sexual preference is. I care about, do you want to learn math? And if you want to learn math, I'm going to help you learn math. I'm going to ask that everybody treat everyone else in the class the same way, that we all have exactly the same right to be in class, to learn, and let's treat each other with the respect that we would want to be treated with. So math is fun. Math is a lot of fun for everybody. So here we go. This next statement is very similar to the last one, but the part of it that's different is students quite often confide in their instructors with things that are going on in their lives. It turns out that once in a while those involve criminal activity on others' parts, sexual harassment, other types of domestic violence or whatnot. If I learn of something, I am obligated to report it to authorities. There's a Title IX coordinator on campus that I am required to tell. If I don't tell, then I'm essentially being complicit in whatever act is happening, any harassment or whatnot. If I'm just letting it go, knowing about it but not saying anything, then I'm culpable. And so my obligation is to report things I hear. So if you tell me about something, I have to report it. If you need to talk to someone about some of these things and you don't want authorities involved right away, then go to the counselors, the WCC counselors in the Student Support Services office downstairs in LDC. They can talk to you and listen to you and are not under obligation to report. So just so you know, if you tell me, I've got to tell somebody else. Now, communication guidelines. Yes, communications with me and your fellow students should be courteous and professional. Some of your best learning aids are your fellow students. Treat them that way. You are encouraged to work together on the homeworks through the discussion boards, but the quizzes you should be doing by yourself, right? We've gone through this. Do it by yourself, no help on the quizzes. If you need to contact me, you can use the messaging system within WAMAP. You can call me on the phone. You can use my email, wweber@wacom. It's not .ctc anymore. It's just wacom.edu. Anyway, I will respond to emails and voice messages within 24 hours, usually much faster than that. That is if you do it early in the week. I don't have classes on Friday, and I don't work on the weekends, or rarely do any work on the weekend. So get started early in each week. Get your questions out there. I will respond quickly. Once the weekend rolls around, I'm a little slower to respond. Okay. Anyway, just because this is an online class, I need to make sure that you're aware of classroom meetings. I am asking you to come in twice to campus, once on February 15th and once on March 22nd, to take the midterm and the final. If you have any conflicts with those, please let me know, and we will make alternate arrangements for that. You, of course, would need internet access to do this class, if you have a camera or a scanner, that would be good, because on each quiz, the way the quizzes are done is essentially just putting your answer in, and it's counted as right or wrong, full credit or no credit. I go back in later to try to assign partial credit, and so at the end of each quiz, there's a spot to, at least there should be a spot to submit your work. So if you have ones that you've gotten wrong and you want potential partial credit, then you snap a picture of your work and you send that, you submit that with your quiz. And then I can look at that and assign partial credit to it. So anyway, you might need a camera or a scanner to do that. We should point out that in the event of inclement weather, like snow days or whatever, really that doesn't affect us as an online class very much. It might affect us in that if someone is, and I understand this happens from time to time, that someone doesn't have internet at home, but they're going to a library or coming into campus to use the internet to take an online class. If that's the case, then we will, of course, work with that person to make up any time that might be needed because of missed days, because of bad weather. It is also possible that we could have a snow day on the day of the midterm or the final, in which case I would have to postpone it and schedule it for another time. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge if we have to. But for the most part, we're just going to go full steam ahead with the course, regardless of the weather. So anyway, that's the class. If you have any questions about the syllabus, please let me know. Ask me, and I will answer as best I can. We'll get you going on this course. As I said, Calc 2 was not my favorite as a student, but it is one of my favorites as an instructor. I teach it more often than almost any other class here. It's got good stuff in it, and hopefully I can help you see how it is such good stuff. Anyway, we'll see you on the internet.